Nice to see you back. Everybody back in the building. Sorry about that. I had a transmission problem. All right, I see everybody back in the building. Brother Diallo, what's good,
Hey,
brethren?
what's
How you
up,
doing?
man? Doing good.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, so I know we limited, kind of pressed for time, man. So I just like to see everybody. Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulties, real quick. You know, uh, Diallo C is in the building. My second favorite MC, and he only one. There's only one other MC that's slightly better than him. This guy Timo. All right, hey, so Diallo, you wanna you wanna start off with the Cypher, man?
Yeah, so just let everybody know, because I see there's some people who know me who have joined the discussion as well. This is metaphysics, so I just have to warn them. We will be going into a metaphysical topic. Timo wanted to speak on the cosmic shift of energy. It's something that actually a couple years ago I got interested in. It's something that I kind of knew from my studies, but there was a gentleman named David Wilcox. And David Wilcox was the first one, and I'm going to rewind on this because when people say stuff like cosmic shift of energy, a lot of times they don't realize that there's a whole scientific regiment behind it. And the reason why it becomes mysterious is because basically people don't understand the fact of Hermetic thinking. And Hermetic thinking teaches that as above, so below. So we don't have a real holistic viewpoint of what the mind, the heart, the body, and the universe really is. What you have more is a linear sequential sequence separatist view of living organisms. So in people's minds and the physical sciences that are taught that are now starting to come out of that because of quantum physics, people believe that they are a separate person from what's going on in the rest of the universe. So case in point, people find it hard to grasp the concept that there is a cosmic shift in consciousness. And I'm going to tie it into the fact that this has to do when I was speaking about the trance state earlier last week. So what happens is, number one, people don't have a real understanding of how their brain and their heart works. So inside of your brain, and everybody should know this from basic biology, you have electric chemicals that fire off in the brain. Everybody's aware of this, right? And the heart itself pumps blood that has plasma in it that is electric. Okay? So when you die, as we stated last week, if you die and you get to the hospital, the first thing they want to do to you is hit you with a defibrillator into the heart to try to revive you through electricity. So what happens is you've been taught that the universe is not electric. You've been taught that the universe is nuclear fusion. This is incorrect. And anybody can go, and it's a very interesting thing if you go look up the electric plasma cosmology that's being taught right now. So right now, even mainstream science admits that the universe is no longer a vacuum. I mean, they argue about it, that it's charged with ions and particles. So what happens is, and sorry about that, I'm at my mother's house right now. It's her birthday, so I had to come visit her. But so her phone's going off in the background. And so, I had to come say happy birthday to my mom and spend time with her. But the charged ions in the universe are the same charged ions, particles, and matter that make up your body and your psyche and your brain. Your brain is a receptor, sort of like if you have a fire stick at home. And if the way you look at living organisms is the more complex the organism, the more complex the receptor of the brain. The brain is not the mind. The brain picks up the frequency of the mind. So what happens is if you have just a little radio antenna, like a little single-celled organism that's really primitive, you just pick up radio frequencies. If you have a fire stick from Amazon, you can pick up music, high-definition television, similar to the way your brain works. As the organism goes up with the brain or the neural system increases, they increase the amount of frequency they take in from the environment. The earth And the planets in the universe are all one frequency that just has different frequency nodes. What they don't tell you is the sun is not nuclear fusion. The sun is electric. The sun picks up electricity through plasma and charged particles. The best way to think of it is the galaxy and the universe is a giant circuit board. So as we travel through the universe, we're going in different waves of electroplasma, which hits the earth. The ancient people all over the earth knew this. They talked about the precession of the equinoxes. They talked about us coming into a new age. When they say we're coming into a new age, and especially when you look at the Aztecs and the Mayas, who got a lot of their culture from the Olmecs. The Aztecs and Mayas got a lot of their culture from the Olmecs. The Aztecs and Mayas had a calendar system that was passed down to them from the Olmec culture. This calendar system is better at keeping time than nuclear clocks. I want that to sink in. The calendar system that the Aztecs and Mayas took from the Olmecs, and the Olmecs were a mixture of Chinese people, West African people. You can see the Olmec statues that have the West African. You can find Olmec statues that have Chinese and European people who would later be called the Vikings and Celtics. It was a trading port. Christopher Columbus did not discover the New World. That's some kind of story made up by the Catholic Church. That's some propaganda that's about as real as Santa Claus coming and knocking me out right now in this interview, okay? It doesn't exist, all right? The people who sailed, the Phoenicians, the Celtic people, the Vikings, the West Africans, all knew the route into Central and South America. The Vikings themselves knew this route. They tried to establish several colonies. The West Africans knew it so well that when Europeans came down to speak, that were in the Dark Ages and spoke to the Vikings, Mansa Musa, who was the great Ghana, and Ghana means lion, told them that he knew the Chinese, the Vikings, and him were traveling to the New World. Mansa Musa said to them, I have cousins who live across the Pillars of Hercules, and this is where I get my gold from. And these trading routes were kept secret by certain trading cultures because they didn't want anybody else coming to the land that had all the gold and stuff like that. Now, if you fast forward to how these people knew the cosmos worked and how the cosmos shifts, right? If you fast forward to that, then what happens is these people will tell you that they keep time better than anybody else, and they were obsessed. They had a corrupt priesthood. I will admit they had a corrupt priesthood who was obsessed with the fact that the sun was reborn. The sun would reborn and go into 5 different ages. The reason they knew this, and the Indians had their version of it, the reason they knew this is because they knew the fact that there was energy throughout the universe. And what happens to you is just like you wake up. When you wake up in the morning, you just don't wake up. You think you just wake up and open your eyes. All right? What happens to you in the morning when you wake up is that you go through 7 different stages, or I'm not 7, sorry, several different stages of wakefulness and sleepiness. When you daydream, as I stated earlier, you go back into a state of waking sleep. The universe, and this is what happens in the cosmic shift, it does the same thing. So when ancient Egyptians, Greeks, Kabbalists, Aztec, they all had their way of saying this. When they would say, hey, we're going into an age, a golden age. We're going to a golden age. What's happening is the same thing that happens to your brain and your heart when you wake up. What's happening is the universe goes through stages of sleep and wakefulness. When you go through your darkest stage, we're coming out of the age of darkness. We're coming into what they call the information age. This is nothing that's just human. If you
Now,
look
hold
at
on.
animals
I want to add into that thought right there. See, so first of all, we have a galaxy, right? We have a solar system, and then we have the solar system, which is tucked into the galaxy, right? The galaxy, it holds the solar system. The solar system is in turn holding the little bitty bits and pieces right there, right? So that's the same thing as the consciousness that we have. So, the soul body, as it travels through different lifetimes, because we have these equinoxes, this procession of the equinoxes, and which is nothing but different celestial marks, right? So it's not so hard to understand. If you think about it, the Earth has an equator, right? Has a middle point, right? A point the equator, right? And then you have the celestial equator, which is based on what the points that you can see. That's how they get the north and south poles and everything. The points that you can see being at the north, the furthest north, true north and south, because you can't measure east and west as far as distance from each other, but because they don't really exist, right? That's the illusion, right? The east and west can't be measured. You can't say east is it, but you can measure the distance between north and south, right? So the precession of the equinox is also the same thing with the soul. The soul is actually going through moods. It goes through moods, just like right now. Our awareness, right now, we're in the mood of intelligence. We're going through that developmental process where information, and we really won't fully be into the age of Aquarius until 2050. That's when we'll fully be into the age of Aquarius. Right now, we're only getting the leftover parts, the remnant parts, the wind. You're starting to kind of smell the wind of intelligence, because really it hasn't shifted. But there is a major shift where people who were once denying the energy, who once weren't part of the frequency, now they're vibrating at a higher tone, a higher frequency rate, and it is harmonic resonance. And so you can see it in the music, you can see it in the conversations, you can see it in the youth. The youth that are coming out right now, they come out with a different type of intelligence. They're smart on a different level. They can do things. They come out technologically sound automatically from birth, right? So this is what you were talking about, the moods or the different process. So right now we're in the phase of intelligence, but we came from compassion, right? Because before intelligence is compassion, right? Because you don't have compassion usually after intelligence. It's usually you have compassion before intelligence, right?
And that's Pisces, Virgo is what you're talking about. The age of Aquarius is actually
Exactly.
the age of Aquarius, Leo. So what happens is the age of Aquarius, which actually the ancient Egyptians and a lot of occultists say is the return of Heru or the hero, has to do with the fact that you reverse the opposite sign takes place. So just like you were saying, we're coming into an information age that cannot be denied. Scientifically, you can prove that right now, just in the palm of your hand, you hold a smartphone that has so much information that they would take the Library of Congress and they can make it 1,000,000 times over and wrap it around the planet. There's more information available to people right now than has ever been in the last couple of thousand years. To literally get the type of information that we can get on any subject, whether it's martial arts, Tai Chi, Qigong, whether it's Orishas, West African religion, Buddhism, you would have to travel the world for. Your great great grandfather would literally have to travel the world. You can do that in the touch in the palm of your hand. You can go and find out high mathematics, science, nuclear fusion, how to build your own airplane. Literally, I've gone and found out stuff about my diet that 40, 30 years ago when I was younger, you would have to hire a nutritionist. I don't even have to hire a nutritionist. I can go into the palm of my hand, download apps that tell me how much to eat, what workout programs, how many calories I'm burning. This is unheard of. The very fact that we don't recognize this is the process of what I talked about, the R complex last week, where you're being hypnotized not to realize what you have in front of you. You literally have been dumbed down not to understand the power that you have as far as information. And what Timo's talking about is now that you're in the information age, it's going to accelerate, because the word information, if you ever take the word form, to put something into form is when the cells of the body, and there's trillions, you have 50 trillion cells estimated in your body. When the cells of the body finally become conscious that they are in the body, this is exactly what is happening to all beings in our galaxy. They're coming into an age of light. And just like the same thing that's happening inside your body is happening in the universe identically. So we're becoming more aware of ourselves. Just like he said, the solar system, the galaxy has solar systems in it. Millions upon millions upon millions of stars. The galaxy is a part of bigger clusters of galaxies, which is just a tip of the universe. Same thing with your body. Your body has organs, major organs. Those major organs break down into cells, which break down into subatomic particles. because every inch of the universe is fractile in nature. You have to go and look and really look deep within and realize that there is no such thing as just one individual thing. Everything is a frequency of a community that gets, and you talked about compassion, a community of trillions of pieces. It takes trillions of pieces to make me and Nuwa. I call him Timo because back in the day we used to be in a rap group. He was Timoja. So it takes trillions of pieces of cells just to make my son. So what happens with people, and I said this before, is you lose sight of nature through bad monotheism that gets you away from the fractal nature of the universe, the fractal nature of the gods and goddesses, which are archetypes, and they are fractal in nature. That's why every time they would get deeper and deeper into nature, they would have a god or a goddess for everything because they had an archetype for everything. Now we are coming to where people are going to be open. And this is something that I really wanted to touch on. And what I really wanted to touch on is people need to wake up, man. You need to stop running after. And it's good to come to teachers. It's good to come to speakers. It's good to come and learn. I go and learn about cars from people who know more about cars than me. They're mechanics. But there has to come a point where I know knowledge about cars because I can just go on YouTube. You have to get to a point where you need to put information into your head so you don't become blind. This blind following stuff has to stop. If you disagree with some of the stuff I say, that's cool, but at least go and learn for yourself. Stop following people. Stop following people. If I learn from somebody, it's because I've already had an experience and Timo has something, keep calling him Timo, Newall has something, or I have something that goes along with the self, because the self, the soul, and the soul body is eternal. And the law of thermodynamics states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. Energy changes formation, form, information. Energy changes information, right?
Now, also
All the
with, I'm sorry, go ahead, Diallo. I think he's frozen. Give him a second. The other thing with information is that it's in formation, so it's in synchronization. The synchronization of information. Okay, information, it duplicates itself. It's and it moves in unison. So when you have the same information that I have, and I have the same information, then we can move automatically in unison because we are in formation. Now, see, we're dealing with the cosmic shift. The cosmic shift happens to deal with, we know off the top that we're talking about the precession of the equinoxes, right? So the precession of the equinoxes, what is the equinox? So it's not that deep, all right? So the equator, okay, the equator of the earth, you know what that is, right? It's right across the middle. Okay, so in the sky, you have equators. You have a celestial equator, right? You have all these different intersections where the earth is on the axis, right? And then the celestial equator is also on the axis, which is imaginary lines. They're not real, they're just divisions of what we can see from this perception. And when you use sidereal, if you know the different forms of astrology, you use sidereal astrology, you're using star time, right? So you're using different angles of perspective to be able to get the angle. So these don't exist as far as actual places, but the precession of the equinoxes is that every so often the crosses, the arms of the cross, they turn, they do this. The last shift of the last arm was 12,000 years ago. This one moved, right? So now this one has to move. And that's where we are now at 25,000 years. You back? Okay. Let me pull you on. Diallo, I need you to come in through your profile. You're coming in as an admin. That's the reason why I can't pull you on. Let me remove you from the... I can't pull you on as a admin. That's the problem. Let me remove you. Admin, can you go in and remove Diallo as an admin? Diallo, you're going to have to go out and come back in. All right? Okay, so we have the precession of the equinoxes. And right now, basically, the cosmos, everything is about a feminine order. Okay, let's just keep this all the way blunt. Okay, and the cosmos, even the earth itself, but the cosmos is basically on her period. Okay, and she's about time. Right now is the time where that is happening. This is the time of the month, so to speak. This is the time of that time in 20 every 25,000 years there's an eruption, and that's where we are right now. We're at the point of the eruption, and we can tell from the different cosmic alignments and the different celestial bodies. We can tell from the different shift in energy and consciousness and in awareness. You can see the awareness shift. You can see people who are not into the science, who have never been into the science. They've never wondered about it. They've never thought about it, but now all of a sudden they're into it heavily. This is across the board. This is not one or two people. You're still coming in as an admin. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'll fix it. I'm right here now. Okay, brother. Y'all be patient with me, peoples, and I will fix this problem. I'll add you back in after the broadcast. Okay. All right, brother. Do it again. Sorry about that. Try that one more time. Hopefully that will work. You're set as a contributor live, so go ahead and try to set that up. Come out, go out, and come back in. Okay? All right, so I saw a few people come in I didn't get a chance to speak to. What's up, Christy? What's good? Lita, what's good? Sekhmet, Gia, how you doing? Sunshine, Serrano, family. We're talking about the cosmic shift. The cosmic shift. Okay? We're just having a few technical difficulties, and we're trying to get it back going. We lost the God as he lost his signal. Trying to get him back on the line. All right, so basically, as we have these energies, they move every so often. So the last, they move like this. It's like that. They don't move at the same time, right? That cross. All right, Lita, that cross. So you have to understand how that happens. So, okay, so Kelly, let me explain to you. We're talking about the cosmic shift, the shift of cosmic energy. The precession of the equinoxes is an astronomical type of way, dealing with the planets and understand what's happening in the celestial bodies, what's happening in the sky, right? So we know by looking at the sky around us and being able to tell what's happening around us, we can tell what's the knowledge. We can tell what's happening. We can see what's going on. And by watching the sky, we see that in the celestial, the precession of the equinoxes, that every 25,000 years, there's a major shift in conscious awareness. And that's where we are right now. We're at the 25,000 year mark. This is a time in history that we've always marked in indigenous cultures and things like that. Okay, so also there was a question earlier about our mind frame and our mobility being inhibited by the different smartphones and things like that. Yes, we absolutely are being inhibited by the different devices. There was a story told by the African Bantu Maiybe witch doctor tribe, which described how the people were being ruled by this particular god, and he was promising that if they gave him, their allegiance, then he would always hook them up. So he made it to where they didn't have to walk anymore. They could just think where they wanted to go, and then you had everybody zipping, and they was teleporting all over the place, right? So, and then he was like, yo, you know what else you want to do? They was like, what else? And he said, they said, we get tired of having to, cook our food. So then he was like, fine, you don't have to cook your food no more. You can just have your food ready. All you have to do is think about your food, and whenever you're ready for your food, it'll be there. And then after a while, they said, hey, we don't want to have to cook the food anymore. We don't want to have to just eat the food. We're tired of chewing the food. We don't want to chew the food. It takes so much to chew the food. It takes so much to constantly have to go through that. So then they could just look at the food, and they can have the food in their belly just like that. Okay, so that's that, and then eventually they lost the ability to walk, and they couldn't walk anymore because they got so damn lazy, and they couldn't get from place to place because they didn't know how to walk. It had been hundreds of years, and they were teleporting, so they didn't know how to walk. Then they couldn't provide their own food because they didn't know how to cook the food, because all they had to do was think about the food, and then it would end up in their belly, right? They didn't have to chew it or anything, so then they lost the ability to eat. Okay, so you understand this witch doctor story. The story that was told is actually uh, giving an example of how the different technologies and different things like that make us lazy, and make us not be able to. It say your connection is failed. Okay, it says that your connection is failed. You have to try it again. I'm gonna try to connect you again. Okay, so the witch doctor in particular tells a story talking about how you don't want to be lazy, right? And when you're looking at the different sciences, you're looking at the different sciences. You're looking at the equinox, and how the equinox, the celestial body, how it marks a reign or shift. Okay? Right now we're coming into the age of Aquarius. We just passed the Aquarius new moon. Okay, so this is a particular, every time there's a full moon, or you want to watch the moon and the celestial bodies all together, but the shift of energy is that as the clock of the sky moves across the different energies, you want to make sure that you are paying attention to the theme of the hour. All right, so if you're in Aquarius, you need to understand what the Aquarian energy is like. Aquarius energy is about making things better, about adding on to situations, making things more profitable, making things expand. You know, joining people together. That's what the Aquarius does. The Aquarius brings people and joins them together. Connection failed. I don't understand. Are you in a bad area? So, the Virgo moon, which is the full moon, because remember, this month has no full moon. Okay, this month has no full moon. Okay, in order to tap into the cosmic shift, the shifting of energies, because the energy is a frequency. The frequency is basically how fast does a vibration move within one space to the other. So if I have from here to here, okay, and I need to measure what the frequency will be, how fast did the vibration get from here to here. If the vibration gets here real slow, that's a lower frequency. If the vibration jumps over there like that, that's a faster and a higher frequency. Okay, so the frequency, the shift in energy right now that's taking place in this galactic center that we're in, it's a conscious shift. And this is causing the frequency to be much faster. That's why everybody is picking up on everything. Everybody knows what's going on. As far as like, even if you right now don't know science or energy or information, it's because you don't find it interesting at all. Okay? And I'm having a problem with connecting to God right now. I don't know what the conflict is. I'm trying to add him now. Keep saying that you are connection failed. Okay, so as far as the cosmic shift and understanding how the cosmic shifting takes place, it takes place in your mind first, it takes place in your body, and then it takes place in the situation around you, and then you notice that it's taking place extendedly in the atmosphere. So anytime there's bad weather, then check what's going on in your home. See, a lot of you don't understand that you have the power to operate as gods. When you have a bad mind frame or you're sad, watch the weather. When you're happy, watch the weather. See what you can do. Now, your strength may be that you can work better with, the wind, or maybe the rain, or maybe you can work better with, storms, or maybe you work better with, clearing up storms and stopping the rain. I mean, it just would have to depend on you as an individual, but this is part of the cosmic shift. That's a part of you being aware of the fact that you do have some sort of natural skill. Where does it fit into the cosmic agenda? Where does it fit inside the cosmic agenda? Brother, I don't know what to do. Just keep saying failed. And I really wanted to hear what the rest of you were saying. This is really horrible. It can't bring him on camera. Maybe he's going to come out and come back in. Okay, so this is the worst. But it's okay. So the cosmic shift, you work better with moon and rain. Definitely, definitely. So the cosmic shift is basically how you have the cosmos, as above, so below, or some would say as below, so above. Also, you could say as within, so without. So the cosmic shift is what you are, whatever that is, wherever you are. Yeah, I think I might have to go out and come back in. Whatever you are is what you're going to bring. Your frequency can only tap into what you're available to tap into. Okay? If your frequency is too low, you won't be able to tap into a higher vibration. Turn the setting to add and off. I mean, I add people the same way every time. I don't know what setting you mean in particular. I adjusted him. I had him as an admin, but he can't come in as an admin. Uh, he's in the right setting already. Um, I can't refresh the page or anything. I don't know. He's gonna when he comes back in, I'll try to do it again. Um, so okay, so the cosmic shift has to do with your mind frame, and you can tell where you fit into the cosmic shift because you'll be able to tell whether or not you're controlling the things inside of your mind, inside of you. If you're controlling your thoughts, you're controlling your body, then you're automatically controlling your situations. When you're controlling your situations, then you're helping other people with their situations. Once you do that, then you understand that you're in alignment with the cosmic shift. The cosmic shift. It means that you're not separated. You're in formation. You gain information. You'll be in tune with knowledge, right? And when you know knowledge, which is know, right? That's the big word inside knowledge is know. When you know you owe, you can't know something and not be responsible to pay up for what you owe. So knowledge is a vibration. Knowledge is a vibration that you're responsible to give once you receive it. Okay, you have to receive when you're supposed to give the vibration in order to keep getting the vibration. That's one thing about knowledge. Okay, so when you know something, you owe something. I'm gonna try again. Here it goes to God. Information, definitely. Look, there it goes. Yes, yes. All right.
Hey guys, that was interesting. I went into Wi-Fi purgatory, so I'm
Yeah,
back.
you know how it goes,
Hopefully.
man. They're trying to shut you down, man. They don't want to hear it, man. So go ahead, man. I'm gonna before something else happens, man. I'm gonna pass the mic, man, and let you say what you need to say.
Well, I know I went on, but you guys got to remember the age of Aquarius. Aquarius, even though it's seen as a cosmic sign, it's also seen as a sign of vegetarians, information. It's the sign of supposedly the nerd. But like I said, the secret power of this age is in Leo. And Leo is the heart sign and the sun sign.
And the
Air
spine.
signs represent in the spine, which is a very good point as to why it's called the lion serpent, because we all know that the kundalini goes up the spine. But one of the things to remember is that the heart is electric, as I was telling you. The sun really is electric. It's not nuclear fusion like they're saying it is. And
Oh,
this will help people understand. Oh, good.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You said you brought it up again. You said it the first time, made me want to think about that. I just want to drop this quick point. Thoughts, right? Your thought forms. Your thoughts are electric, right?
Electric. That's right.
So the sun has a
And
name. This is like you mentioned the rebirth of the sun. We know the sun as being a baby, right? The baby sun
yeah,
underneath Aldebaran and Beltagis, who they say Beetlejuice, right? You can see these suns with your naked eye. You can go outside right now and see these suns in the nighttime, and they look like little red stars. Right by the constellation of Orion, you can find him. You can find both of them by the constellation Taurus and by the constellation of Aries. If you look straight up, if you find Orion's belt, and you look right up in between the belt, right at the top, you'll find Aldebaran and Beltagis. And those are the two farther or larger energies of Rajul, who is what we call the sun generically. So this is another. So the thought form entities, we have different. We recognize the sun as being a being, and it is electric with thought form travel. So you talked about the plasma
that's
and
why they had the beetle push the sun up, and all the Egyptian sciences. There's no mystery to that. That was something that they accepted as a fact. And the thing is, before I forget, the Leo, the Sphinx, the Leo itself. If you study any astrology, they'll tell you that the main, the primary, the exoteric planet or star is the sun for Leo. So what happens is, if you look into Revelation, it will tell you that the Son of Man, because all air signs being Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, represent human thought, and they're human signs. So it says the Son of Man, and the Son of Man means men. They say Son of Man because they're coming out of a culture that didn't respect the women like they should. It's really should translate to the human being. But the son, that's why if you read the Old Testament, they said there was the sons of gods and the sons of men. And they would always speak about the sons of men as derogatory. They looked down on them. The Hebrew people themselves thought they were the Bena Elohim, which is the sons of goddesses and gods. And in Psalms, they said in their Bible, you are the Bena Elohim, or you are the sons of gods and goddesses. Of course, the European translation is you are the sons of God. You will die like men and fall like princes. Now, what Jesus came and said, the fictional symbolic story of Jesus, again, the fictional symbolic story, is he's the son passing through the 12 signs, and he tells them that the Son of Man will come in the clouds of glory. He's talking about Aquarius, because when they asked him when he was washing the feet, show us a sign of the age to come, he says that you'll go down in the city and you'll see a man with a water on his head. Aquarius is a masculine sign. It's a masculine sign that upholds the mother. In Revelations, it clearly says the Son of Man shall come as the Lion of Judah. This is a ripoff that they did.
There it goes again.
Is trying to reconnect. Are you guys seeing me? Okay. All right. The human being is going to return with the solar power. And the solar power is not just the solar system's power. And this is where it's important that you understand what electric cosmology, plasma electric cosmology is. The solar power is electric power that the sun gets from all the other suns in the grid that it's on, in the circuit of the galaxy, which is on the grid of the universe. All the planets are interconnected like all living beings are interconnected. It's an illusion. The Indian people talk about this obsessively. The illusion of separation. Now, we are separate frequencies, just like your cells in your bone are different from your blood cells, but they're all cells that make up one body. And this is why they say that the sun will return. And so when the sun returns, he's returning to uphold the reign and the power of his mother. They always remember that. He's returning. That's why his mother came and received the energy from Asor Abatala Awusi. She was named Yamea. She receives the energy to give birth to the cosmic child. The cosmic child, and I'm going to tell you a little secret. Normally I don't like to get too mysterious. The cosmic child is not just the son, it's the son and the daughter. And they knew who she was. They called her Sophia, which means wisdom. The son and the daughter return. We are going into Aquarius, which is the age of the children. And this is why they cut it off. We're going into an age where people have a younger state of mind because they will access their subconscious mind, which will go down into their DNA. And finally, human beings will master their instincts, their serpent instincts, the R complex. And this is happening because you're not separate from the body. You are a part of the body. The West Africans would say Nyami and Enyamewa. And you have to forgive me, I said that in the wrong order. They would say Enyamewa first, then Nyami. And the only reason that was taken away is because West Africa was infected by the male chauvinistic styling of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. They were infected by that. And so they'll say stuff and they will take the goddess out. You'll never hear about Enyamewa. But you are considered a part of the body. You're not separate. You don't go up into heaven and meet God. You're inside of God, just like your cells are inside of you. So what Timo's talking about, the equator, just like the earth, is being hit with energy from the sun, which is different right now. The Aztecs and the Mayas knew this. They said they were scared. They were superstitiously scared. They would sacrifice people. And of course, where did they go for first? I told you guys, the heart is electric. The heart is solar. The Leo, which is the son of man, the human being who has the lion in him, who is returning, is Aquarius, Leo. They would go and the Aztecs would dig out your heart. They would dig out. And this is what's going on. And the reason why is because that electric heart, that solar heart that you have inside of you, is the son or the child of your mind, your brain. That's why you feel stuff in your heart. That's why you have an intuition. And yeah, it's getting more powerful. And the reason why they're dumbing you down, the reason why they're making us stupid, the reason why they have you, thinking about stuff that's not relevant, stuff that's not important, is because they want to get you away from your intuition, because they know the second coming of Heru and his mother is here. Now it's happening. And just like when a woman gives birth to a child, the child don't jump out as a grown man. The child comes, or a grown woman. The child comes as a little baby, and the woman has to raise the child. So the feminine energy, and I saw somebody speak about the feminine energy that is exploding. The feminine energy that is exploding is because the woman is being chased into the wilderness, and the cosmic power, Enyamewa and Enyame, is feeding the woman, the feminine power, to raise her child up to rule them with an iron rod. You're seeing it right now. They will kill as many people as they can. I'm being honest with you. Depopulation is what they call it, because they do not want to give up the system that's going to be toppled over. The system is not toppled over by force. The system is toppled over by the mind. You can't control people if their minds change. And people's minds don't change through just thinking. They change through thinking, and they change from the lion that is coming. And the lion represents the heart. And once you feel it in your heart, your mind will change. And, this is a truth that they like to pump pure information into people. You'll see two extremes. And this is why me and Timo are talking about it, and it sounds like, hocus pocus magic. But the two extremes is either they'll teach you a superstitious religion that has no scientific foundation to it. It's just mumbo jumbo. They'll make you feel guilty about stuff that doesn't matter. And then they'll switch up and they'll teach you a science that has no consciousness to it, no spirituality to it. And what'll happen is, it's only until you read some of these people who have founded breakthroughs in science, you realize half of them were mentally insane and spiritually adept. They were insane. Nikola Tesla was mentally insane. He wouldn't even let women's hair touch him. He thought he was getting his messages from beings in Mars. Einstein couldn't walk across the street. He couldn't tie his shoelaces. He was mentally insane. And so it takes somebody who's broken down mentally insane, who cannot function in the propaganda that's been given to touch. You guys can still hear me? Okay, I'm back. Has a touch of the divine. They call it the divine fool in the tarot. He has a touch of insanity. They call it the madman, or the lunatic. Lunatic is the root word for Luna, is the moon. Somebody said that I deal better with the moon and rain. The reason why you deal better with the moon and rain is because Yamea is the gateway to the subconscious mind. So the reason why you're working better with the moon and rain is because the moon works with the sun. There's no separation. Look at the moon. Go outside and look at the moon when it's full, and you can see the sun, the masculine, the expansion of all the galaxies, of all the universes, is beaming into the moon as light. And the moon therefore takes that light and puts it into the ocean, and the ocean as we know it is a plasma. You're 60%, 70% water. There's nothing disconnected. The moon and the sun are married. They work together. Okay? So when you work, that means that you work just like anything else. My wifey is my wifey. She's another half of me. She's there to pick up on the receptive side of me. So if you deal better with the moon, you deal better with the receptive side. If you deal better with the sun, you deal better with the expansive side. The contraction and expansion are needed elements. They're a formula. You can't have one without the other. The universe, we have to go to sleep. You got to close your eyes. You got to take a rest. While you were sleeping, something bad might have happened. But now you're awake and you're waking up. As you wake up, you start to remember, I forgot my keys. I got to get to work on a certain time. That's what's happening right now. It's needed for us to go in the darkness. That's when the gurus appear. That's where the holders of the light appear. But now we're coming to the light, and the gurus need to push people to become their own gurus, their own shamans, their
Yes.
own high
Mm-hmm.
priestesses. We need to push people into say, hey man, stop. There has to come a point where you stop listening to me and you start listening to yourself. There has to be that point because you are in the age of the child where the child becomes the man. It says the man child will rule with an iron fist, an iron rod, and a rod made of iron. So the intergalactic energy that is pulsating right now is because our solar system is coming into a position where it's receiving more electroplasma, and that is going right into your brain and your heart and your gut. And you know, you can feel it. They've done scientific studies, and Nuon knows this, and I know this. They've done scientific studies right now on people's gut feelings, their heart feelings, and they find out that they're more correct than people's minds. They've done studies where they've let people nap before doing things, and they wake up out of the nap, and they're actually doing better and outperforming the other people at their job. This is because there's something else going on. It's not just the feeling that you're feeling. Emotion is energy in motion. You're feeling energy. And that's been shut off all your life. You've been taught it's superstitious all your life. And now here you are with me and him, and we're trying to redevelop something that we should have been doing all of our lives. If you guys think about it, how long did it take you to talk to the level of an adult? How long did it take you to read and write on the level of an adult? How long did it take you to walk? Certain people, it takes them, you just didn't jump out and start walking. Same thing with your intuition. Same thing with your mind. These people have taken away your power. They've taken away your instincts. They've taken away your animal power. They've taken away your tribal spirit. And that goes for all races. All races. I say this again. I've had some Afrocentric people attack me for saying this, but I'm going to say it. And I've had some white people attack me, unfortunately, for saying this, but I'm going to say this. All races. Celtic people who were living in the trees of Ireland, living in the trees, who were all called wizards and witches. And they burned those people and killed them. The West African people, they decimated. They decimated the West Africans because those people were going into it. The Native Americans. Go ask the Native Americans, where are they? They killed millions of Native Americans. Killed them because they didn't want people who were the people of the serpent to go into the intuition because they knew this day was coming. And then the ones who are left, what they do is they tear this out of your mind and your heart, and they turn you into a high-functioning animal who is not in touch with his instincts. They domesticate you. If you go in to the tarot card, if you go into the Book of Thoth, written by Aleister Crowley, and you go into my sign, I'm an Aries. The sign of Aries is the Emperor, and he states plainly the ram, the Aries, is a wild animal with courage, fearless in lonely places. He said below the Emperor's feet, the ram is turned into a lamb, a cowardly, fat animal. And it said this is the mystery of government. This is the mystery of all governments, to break the will of the people. Your will is magic, okay? You've been underdeveloping you look at a muscle. If you don't exercise your muscles go into atrophy. All you're seeing, every human being you see on this planet, no matter if they have brain damage, no matter if they all have magical will. They've never developed it. When you see a lot of these people who are evil people, they're bad people, they're dumb. You look at Donald Trump, he's dumb as, and I hate to get political, he's dumb as a doornail. Donald Trump has an overdeveloped willpower. He will will his way into, it doesn't matter if you face him with death. There are people who are wealthy, who you see them in interviews, they can barely string a sentence together, and you wonder how are they rich? They're wealthy because they have the will. It is coming now where the cosmic will is returning. When they say, hey, Ru, hero, and they talk. Can you guys hear me? It's trying to reconnect. Is your phone? Am I here? Am I back?
There you go.
Am I reconnected?
Yeah, you back.
The willpower is returning. The willpower is a masculine, expansive energy. It never manifests. It never works. It can never go forward without the feminine energy. It can never happen. It will never happen. That's why the will, Heru, is always shown on his mother's lap, Yemaya. Heru is always shown on his mother's lap. His title, when you're not talking about Heru Benatat, which is Ogun and Benah, when you're talking about the other Heru, because there's two Herus, you're talking about Heru, the son of Osor and Aset. And the fact that he has the throne comes through his mother's lineage. The Hebrew people stole this, and you can't be a Jew unless your mother's a Jew, okay? They know this because in West Africa, Africa and Egypt, You sat on the throne because your mother was of royal blood. And this is why there's a throne and a chair. The reason why a throne and a chair is there, and I said this before, is if you look at a throne is a woman's lap. A chair is a woman's lap. So the ability for the king and queen to sit on the throne was the fact that my mother, not my father, I had the spirit of my father. That's why usually the queen would go after a strong-willed man. I had the spirit of my father, but my blood, my flesh, my information, my form, my formation is traced through my mother. In West Africa, they do it all the time. You're not Ashanti unless your mother's Ashanti. They're claiming that either through my mother, my great-great-grandmother was a Maroon from Jamaica. They're claiming she was either Igbo or Ashanti. When I find out what, that means that no matter what my father is, and I have my father's spirit in me, that I would be considered an Igbo. And this is something that people need to come to an understanding of, because what happens is they try to separate the man from the woman all the time. They try to just like they separate the races. So they'll get up and they'll say, oh, only women energy is important. Oh, only masculine. That's baloney. That's like breathing, and all you do is expand, your lungs will explode. If all you do is contract, you'll never get the breathing up and going. You need expansion and contraction. That's
You
the way
can't
the
even
universe
walk.
works.
You can't even walk without
You
pulling
can't
your leg
walk.
back.
You have to pull and push. You have to pull and push. These are called it's called divide and conquer. Right? And they always do this stuff. And that's why the great psychologists who knew this stuff were silenced. And they only took bits and pieces. They don't tell you where Carl Jung got this stuff from. They only take bits and pieces from him. Carl Jung will tell you inside your body is the animus and the anima. That's what's happening in the universe. The cosmic shift of consciousness is the universe bringing forward people who are more balanced in their receptive and active nature. So you have women who can go out now and be active like they're supposed to be. They can put their mark on the world. They become business women without men disrespecting them and underpaying them. They can become scientists. They can become entrepreneurs. They can become teachers. They can become fighters. They have women fighters who are considered some of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound. They have men who are receptive now, men who can lead people into spiritual ways, who can be artistic, who can be advanced in music and decoration and color without compromising their masculinity, because people are becoming gods and goddesses. I should have said goddesses and gods. And this is what's happening with the cosmic energy that's coming down through Aquarius. Go look up Aquarius. Aquarius is the rebel. The last part of that word is elder, elect, the elite. There's no such thing. And Aquarius is a sign that is for the people. So if it's a rebel who's bringing the elite to the people, what's telling the people, women and men, is that there is no hierarchy. You are the hierarchy. You are the priest. Every cell in your body needs to wake up. It's no longer that you can just be ignorant of the cells of the body. We are the cells of the universe. We are the subatomic particles of the universe. The universe is fractal. We are going into a source field, an energy field that is waking us up, and we're just thinking it's just technology. It's not just technology. Just like your body develops parts of your bones and your blood and your lungs and your heart, your body, and as you're growing, if you notice, when you were growing, Timo talked about the spine. Now I'm only 5'7". I'm a short man. Timo's about 6'5". All right. As he was growing, his spine received hormones from the complex in his brain. That complex in his brain, the regulator was called Obatala. They knew in the ancient times Obatala was the regulator of the hormones. The maintainer of the hormones, she who keeps things cool, is his wife, Obatala Osor's wife, which was Isis Yamea. She maintained. He went through a growth spurt. He grew to be 6'5" because of those hormones. This is exactly what's happening in the universe. The universe is growing us. You grow, you go into old age, you crystallize. You don't, when people say old age is bad, that's because of ignorant stuff that's been told to them. You don't destroy the body. The ancient Africans would preserve the body and mummify it because you crystallize. You became a shrine of power. Okay? So just like a baby, you don't go, just because somebody's old and weak, you don't go up to a baby who's just born and say, oh, he's not as strong as a man. This baby is no good. No, you go up, a baby is born, he's born weak because he's born as being open, subtle. as being pliable, as being in a state of hypnosis. As you get older, you start to crystallize. It's reconnecting, I think. I'm back. You crystallize. You become a shrine. You become a beacon of wisdom as a woman or a man. And this is what's happening in the universe. The universe expands, and then it contracts down to the size of a period, and then it explodes out again. That's called the Big Bang. The Big Bang is not an origin. The Big Bang is a process. We are going into the expansion of the universe. All of our suns and all the galaxies are feeling it, and they're passing it on to all of the planets that are around those suns. And those planets are developing creatures who develop computers, because the body, the mind, the universe, the solar system is a giant computer. And that's why your children are being born right now. They know more about the internet than you do. And that's where the enemy lies. The enemy lies in the truth. The enemy hides in the internet to dumb your children down, because your children are what they call star children. Okay? Your children are. My son had autism supposedly, because he speaks fine now. When he was young, he could set up internet. He could set up anything. He has his own YouTube channel, stuff that I would have to study to do. So he could fail out of school right now, but you better be sure that he has his own YouTube channel. Right now, through his YouTube channel, which you just think is YouTube, my son can reach millions and millions of billions of people, stuff that I could never do when I was his age. The economy that we have is going to be toppled over because people will no longer need to go to work, because instead of going to a work, or me and Timo were selling CDs out on the street and we could only reach like 100 people a day, you can literally reach millions, hundreds of millions of people in minutes. It's already reconstructed political campaigns. It's already reconstructed the music industry. It's already reconstructed the entire television industry. Has been redone by the information age. It's happening right now. If you think you have to go to some magical book to see what's going on, all you got to do is open up your eyes and see reality as it's really happening. And the very fact that me and this man are having this interview right now speaks to the fact that the Aquarian age is here now. Heru has returned.
Yes.
And there ain't no church, there's no mosque, there's no temple, there's no scientist who can stop it. They cannot stop it. The only thing they can do is try to kill as many people as they can. Information is everywhere. You're saturated information. Go ahead, my bad.
There's another thing that we can do though, right? There's one thing that we can do, because you can't be followed to a place of silence. When you learn to silence yourself and go through the natural transitions, I can't follow you through your transition, right? If you take a medicine, a pill, something, you ingest something, and you go through whatever that happens to you, I could be there with you in the room with you, but I can't follow you. This work that we have to do, it has to be something done by the individual. No one can take you there. I can lead you close in the right direction. I can put my elders, the ones that I learned from, they poured information. That's what they do. They give you information. It's up to you as an individual to step into that information and to apply the information. You have to apply the information. So one thing you want to look for is in your personal life, you understand that you have a constant shift. We're talking about cosmic shifts of the planetary and the celestial bodies, and how, 25,000 years, there's a different, how do we know that these are histories that we have, right? Now we know that the last time that the arms moved, it was 12,000 years ago.
Yeah.
We have to be a little bit smarter than average, because they say that, the world's only 6,000 years old. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know more.
Which is the biggest lie in the world. The world is hundreds. Human civilization, sorry for cutting you off. Human civilization has been around for millions, if not even more.
Way more.
Yeah.
So, but the whole 6,000, we know that's not real. But 12,000 years ago was the last shift. Right, every 25,000 years, so it's basically 12 and a half, right? That's 25,000. So each 12 and a half, one arm of the clock moves, basically. So what that happened is that, like you mentioned about the light and how we are now ingesting the light. Okay, so cosmically speaking, the universe, the galaxy, the whole entire galaxy as a whole is actually in this intersection, in the cut right there, to get that light, that beam of light that's coming through that little area right there. So this is why the information is there, but it's only a beam. It's not the full direct on hit. The direct on hit is when the connection comes. Because I can't connect to you if I'm on point, but you're still not. Right? We can't really make the connection. If you're on point and I'm not, you can't really make the, because I can't really go there with you. I can't follow you there. I have to be there. Then we meet. Right? So the same way how you mentioned about how the sun is in a network of suns and how we are in a network of frequency of ideology, a frequency of vibration, in order to measure your frequency, you have to measure the frequency is the distance between a vibration and how fast it moves from here to here. Does it go real slow? That's a low vibration, low frequency. Or does it go real fast? That's a fast, higher frequency. You're in tune, you're in touch with other frequencies. Right now, we're on the same science as far as like when I say we, the general science, the general energy, the general consensus. And so for us, if you're in here and you're not a child, you're responsible for the youth. They are going to pay attention and see, you know what? They know so much more than what we had at their age, but they're missing a lot too because they don't have that practical, real. They have they're more up here like this. They have the higher realms, right, of the chakra system, where we have more of the lower half, which is the anima. The anima, and you have half a spiritus and half anima, right? The animal mixed with spirit. Mankind has always been represented in the spiritual or energetic realm as being animalistic. Man,
You know
the
why?
story,
Why?
huh? Why?
You know why? Because you touched on a good point. What's happening is what I was saying earlier. When a child is just born, their hardware, which remember I said in the beginning that as a creature is more complex, as you go up in evolution, and animals are more complex, they have higher hardware. So when the child is born, usually what'll happen is even though his brain might not be developed, it's more in an open state. It can pick up frequencies that when you crystallize, you ignore. And this is why, and I want to remind people, this is why the obsession, because they edited the Gospels, the God spells, and they took out a lot of stuff. So you just get one little passage where Jesus says you have to have the mind of a child. They don't go into deeper the passage where Jesus and the Taoist and the Asian Buddhist and the ancient Egyptians said if you go up to a child when they're young and you start asking them questions and you can decipher, because children don't speak, you'll find a lot of truth. That's because that child is closer to their manifestation. They remember their reincarnation. They remember all types of stuff. They've done studies on this where they ask children, and children just think it's their imaginary friends and stuff, but children will tell you, oh, I was a tennis player. And they realize the kid, maybe 30 years or 100 years before they were whatever, was playing some type of sport or doing something. That's because they're closer to their manifestation. As you get deeper into your manifestation, you get deeper into your programming. It's just like anything else. So you start to cling to certain doctrines and you start to cut off certain developments in your brain and you forget things. And so, one of the things that, Timo's bringing up well is the fact that children are smarter on different levels because we are going into a narrow frequency. It's a beam that's coming down. It's electric. And this beam that's coming down is going to turn people's minds. We're going to have the wisdom of old people, but we're going to have the mental capacity, the mental, I should say, intuition of children. And of course, the first ones we're going to see are the children. And the children are going to say crazy stuff, and you're going to think, oh, those are just children being children. Yeah, some of it's children being children, obviously. The child's not going to get in and drive your car or something like that. A lot of it is going to be open energy that the children are receiving first. And this is why if you look at the formula of the dying God, the formula of the dying God is the God dies. And they had this all over the world. Jesus was one of them. They had Tammuz, Dionysus, whoever you want to call the dying God. He's justified, the God Osiris is justified not through his ancestor, not through his great-grandfather, not through his great-grandmother. He is saved by his child. His child. The child resurrects the ancestors. And this is what's exactly going to happen. Now, Timo, sorry about the Wi-Fi problems. I do got to jump off, though, because it's about that time that I take my child home. And I'm here with my mother right now, and I got to get in with the birthday. We're going to chop it up more, man. And I swear when I come up to North Carolina, I'm gonna have in-depth information. I'm gonna go deeper than we just go when we're going tonight. I'm gonna get down. So I appreciate you guys fighting through the frustration. I apologize. It's always a pleasure, and I thank you guys for your patience with me tonight.
Yo, man, glad to have you, man. Hopefully we'll be doing this next week, man. But you know what it is with the signal. Can't let the energy go. They got to try to mess with you a little bit, you know. So that's what's up, man. And hopefully we'll be doing this thing as we go forward. But that's what's up, man. And good to have you. See you on next week.
You too, man. I'll see you guys next
Tell your
week.
mother,
Y'all have a
man. Tell
blessed.
your mother happy birthday, man.
Let's
Yes,
see.
bless.
You.
Happy birthday.
You guys have a
Yeah.
nice night. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bless up, man. Peace. All right. All right. Yeah. So let's get into that cosmic unity. Let's get into the cosmic unity of the network of suns, the network of planets, the network of plants, the network of thoughts. Right? The synchronicity of even your breathing process, the synchronicity of even your thought process. How many times and how many thoughts during a regular basis, during a regular day, are your thoughts other people's thoughts? How many times have you thought of something and it's been so profound that you said, damn, that means if I'm thinking about it, somebody's getting ready to do it. You know, you understand that you're plugged into a network of thought process. And no matter what, you're not the only one. So if you speak of something in private, you say, yo, I want to do this, and I say, hey, that's a good idea, guaranteed that there's going to be a movement of energy that somebody's going to do that. Okay? Because you're plugged into a thought process, a synchronized thought process. Okay, so we are all basically fragments of one particular personality, right? One particular archetype personality. Okay, so you can find yourself in other people. This is the whole thing behind Carl Jung and the projection process of you seeing something in me that you don't like, and then you project it on me, right? That's the whole process of psychology, and that's where that comes from, right? But actually, what's the sad face for? Actually, the science is that you don't have to be disconnected from the thought process, but you can actually tap into the different synchronized form of thinking, the different synchronized form of movement, and like that on a galactic level and also on a local level by focusing on specialized breathing. That's the key. When you learn how to do this and you do it on a regular basis, you do it consistently, you do it on a schedule, and like that, that's where you start to increase the connectivity of the synchronization. You want to be able to connect with people even if they're across the world. You want to be able to connect with people even if they're other of a different ethnicity, because you understand that there is a cosmic ethnicity. You do understand that even if you are, you know, the same race as somebody, that doesn't mean that you're the same race as somebody. This is all part of the thinking that I think has confused us, because like, oh, the problems that we've had from each other, we've dealt with different problems, and different groups have given other groups different problems. But to think that you fit into a group because you are of a particular genealogy, right? The genealogy is that you are part of a organism. Okay, the organism is not only humanoid organism, but it's also dealing with animal life and plant life. It's dealing with a cosmic order. It's dealing with the thought process. It's dealing with a willpower. And so everybody's not the same. No, everybody's not the same. Everybody's not part of the same organism, but we are connected. Everyone is connected. And cosmically, if it rains on my block, it rains in your yard too if you live next door. It doesn't matter if I hate you. It doesn't matter if you hate me. At the end of the day, if it rains and it comes down, we all get wet. And that's what's happening in the cosmic order. So I've met people from different backgrounds and different systems and different ways of walk, and I found them to be sincere individuals. You know, so like it is a cosmic order. The cosmic order doesn't automatically include or exclude anyone. It doesn't include or exclude automatically anyone unless you're dealing in forms of fuckery. Okay, other than that, the cosmic agenda, which is about constant growth and progress and forward motion and self-supremacy, because you make all decisions for yourself. No one can actually make decisions for you. No one can, learn for you. No one can actually ignore something for you. No one can actually excel for you. No one can actually study for you. No one can do anything for you except for do things with you. Okay? You can affect people, and if you let people affect you, then you'll be affected by what they do. But peace, brother Muhammad. How you doing? But basically you want to understand that the conscious awareness is in synchronization. So when you synchronize yourself and you get locked into an original thought process and within yourself, right? The thought process of growth, the thought process of expansion, the thought process of love. And because love is something that you came with, you don't have to learn how to love. If you learned how to hate, then you would have to learn how to love. But love in particular is something that you came with. So when you get into that light frequency of love, then automatically you start to synchronize with people and you start to connect with people and you start to get in order and a movement with people. So this is how money is actually circulated to keep a certain group. That's why you say, buy black businesses or, spend money, the Asians spend money. Because the Asian community doesn't spend money outside of the Asian community. But they get money outside the Asian community. But their money goes right back into the original circuit, the original flow. And why is that? Because the Asian community understands that you treat your money like the way you treat yourself. And you treat your brother and your sisters the way that you treat yourself. So I treat my money the way I treat my brothers. If I treat my brothers bad, then my money's going to be short. My money's going to be funny because that's what time it is. If I treat my neighbors, my people, the people around me who are just like me, because there is no separation between me and anyone other than the fact that I have my own frequency or my rate of vibration coming from here to here, and you have your own frequency or rate of vibration going from here to here. We might be at different speeds and completely different, shifts or levels of awareness, but at the end of the day, certain frequencies lock in and certain frequencies don't. There's a such thing known as fuckery. Okay, so as long as you're staying away from that and you're tapped into a aware, like when you go outside and you sun gaze and you doing that deep breathing, you feel that cool breathe. Everything is working together. Your soles of the feet are on the ground. The wind is blowing on you. The sunlight is hitting you. It's going right in you. Everything is good. It's all working in unison. This is oneness. There's no separation. You don't look at the light and can't breathe all of a sudden. You don't start to breathe and then forget and can't feel your feet. Everything is in unison and everything is together. Everything operates in as a team, as a part of a major organism, and that's what the cosmic shift is about. The cosmic shift is about actually acting and moving and functioning as an organism that is not bent on suicide, because this is what we are dealing with as in this physical vessel. This physical vessel wants to kill itself. I mean, look at the behavior. Look how we are. We're obsessed with murder. If you've never murdered anybody, how many movies do you love watching where somebody dies? I mean, there was a point in time in my own life, I wouldn't even watch a movie when somebody died in it. I thought it was boring. Right? So a lot of times we get obsessed with this frequency, obsessed with these energies, and the cosmic shift is basically having you opened up to align yourself to that. Okay, so I'm getting ready to close down the broadcast, but I want to do a couple question and answers. I see Enchantress Rain. Enchantress, you have a question. Post your question. Anyone has a couple questions, I'll take a few, and then we will go ahead and start to close down the broadcast. So, floor is now open. Okay, so basically, as we have this shift of energy that's taking place, it's taking place in your body. How can you tell it's taking place in your body? Okay, first of all, I want to talk about how can you tell it's taking place in your body? How can you tell if it's taking place in the situation around you? And how can you tell that it's taking place in the cosmic arena around you on a greater scale. First of all, you can tell that these situations are happening around you because you're being constantly attracted to energy. Energy is being attracted to you. Okay, it's constantly being attracted to you. You're being attracted to it. There's a fusion going on. There is no separation. There is a linkage that's taking place with you and information, you and knowledge, you and wanting to know how to do things the way that you remember in the back of your mind. Right, whether it was a book that sparked this, see, there's triggers to unlock these codes. Sometimes these triggers come from things people say. Sometimes they come from something you read. Sometimes, it can come from a song that you hear, or sometimes you can just walk by a certain area and the scenery will make you think of something that you, these things, these triggers, these cosmic DNA codes, DNA, because DNA is a code that is locked in, okay? The DNA is a code that is locked in. Everything up to that point actually freezes, and then it becomes exactly what it is at that point. That's what the DNA is, okay? I'll see you, Rain. I'm going to get to you in a second. Okay, so how do you know this happening? So you're attracted to these energies. You're attracted to the fact that these energies are there. You really want to know about it. And it's not just the attraction, but it's the fact that you are going about getting the answers to that. You're actually finding a way to get into the answers and do the things that you need to do. Okay. You also have the situation around you, the people around you. Either you will attract a teacher or a source or in source of information. See, the teacher can't just be a teacher. The teacher has to drive you to you. The teacher has to teach you to wake yourself up, and then guess what? The teacher's only there to help you wake yourself up. You are your best priest. You are the highest form of magic that you will ever know. It may be that you haven't developed it, so you have to work your way up to yourself, but there is no one higher than you. Okay, so if you attract a teacher and you attract more information, that's another way to know that you're in touch with the cosmic shift. Now, on a large scale, you look at the people around you, maybe neighbors, maybe strangers, maybe people that you see on TV, people that you don't really know in real life, and pay attention to the conversations that you hear when you walk by the table at lunchtime. When you on the bus or on the subway and you hear people talking, pay attention to what you see. The shift is happening everywhere around you. It's just that, is it happening everywhere within you? You know how it was mentioned we chose our parents. Do we choose our astrology signs too? Yes, you do choose the time that you're born, you choose the astrology sign. But see, first of all, the way that the zodiac has been taught is a complete lie. Okay, the zodiac has not been represented in a true light. The zodiac has been represented in a false light to make you think that the sign that you entered in is the sign that you really are. Okay, you entered into a particular frequency, but your sign is to actually become the holistic sign of all of them. Okay, also you have other signs that you don't even know about, like your conception sign. Okay, the sign of your conception. What was that? So basically, and I have this on my post. You can go through Alchemy Temples, go through New Our Souls page, and you'll be able to see. I have the chart up there and everything that I put up there. So it talks about basically how if you're born, say you're born in Aquarius, okay? If you're born in Aquarius, you can go either 3 months forward or 9 months back to figure out what the month is. You should get the same time because that's 12 months, right? 3 and 9. So 3 months forward of Aquarius, just for the sake of time because it's shorter. Let's go. We got Aquarius, we got Pisces, we got Aries, we got Taurus. Okay, let's just go back just for sake that you can understand what it is. So we go back from Aquarius. We'll go back one. What's before Aquarius? Capricorn. No, excuse me. Yeah, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, Leo, Gemini. Leo, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus. 9. That's 9 months. See, so it's the same thing going forward and backwards. So that would mean that you actually have a connection with Tauruses. And that would mean that your conception could come through a Taurus. You could conceive easily with the Taurus. Your money, the money things that you deal with, because that's what money is fertility, which is a form of conception, right? So you would have a Taurus vibration because you would be conceived by Tauruses. So all the different sciences that deal with Taurus would affect you. Okay, so that's That's how that is. So you basically picked the signs and the different strengths that you wanted when you manifested in a physical vessel. You wanted to say, I want to be this way, I want to be that. I don't really want to deal with that. You picked yourself, you designed yourself. That's why it's important to love yourself, because you made yourself who you are, and you're making yourself who you are even right now. Now, the sun and the moon fusion, right, is basically dealing with your internal power and your external will, your willpower, and the way that you're viewed by other people and the way that you actually operate with other people. It's an old ancient African proverb that says, if you want to know how you really are, you observe yourself in action with other people. So you want to know how you really are. You want to know how you get down. You try to represent yourself as a certain way. Well, you know what? You want to know how you are? Go ahead and check yourself with other people and see how you move with other people, and then you'll know how you really are. Because other people are your real representative. Okay? So when you attract teachers and you come to teachers, yes, you have to be careful, because all teachers are not for all students, and all students are not for all teachers. But it is true that if you are at a certain height or certain level of evolution, then automatically the teacher will appear to you just like the student will appear to the teacher, because the teacher needs to feed. Okay? The teacher needs students in order to feed. Right? It's just like any business. A business needs customers. I mean, the business they got the tightest clothes, they got the tightest food, they got the tightest cars, whatever they're selling, they need customers. Otherwise, they just have the tightest stuff and they broke because they can't sell it. They need the people to buy it, right? So teachers need students. Students need teachers. You have students with no teachers. You have teachers with no students. So when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But when the teacher is ready, the student appears. Okay, sometimes right now you have a lot of students becoming teachers before it's time, and you have a lot of teachers actually still being students long after they should have been teachers. So really dealing with that cosmic shift and that fusion of the sun and the moon, that's the internal power, as within and so without. That's that fifth dimensional vibration, that fifth dimensional movement, so that you don't have to get confused. Now, for a good teacher, number one, I think what a good teacher is to me, first of all, a good teacher should be able to break down and explain what's going on. Okay, so you shouldn't be able to be confused. A good teacher should be able to really know the ins and the outs and backwards of the thing that he's teaching or she's teaching. You should not know it. If you don't know it and you can be tested on it and somebody can come ask you that, um, you should definitely have that. Salute to your teacher. Yes, bless up, bless up. You definitely want to have a good teacher. Now, another thing is that good teachers can also pay attention to what students are learning which way. Every student doesn't learn the same, right? Some students learn fast, hella fast. They pick up on stuff mad quick. You can tell them, you look at them and be like, yo, this person's going to be very excelled. You have other students who you can also see that they're going to be very excelled if they apply themselves, but they may pick it up really slowly. The good teacher is going to basically put the novice and the professional in the same setting and teach them everybody something. That's a good teacher. To meet the people where they are. You can't meet people where you are as a teacher. You have to meet the people where they are so that you can actually help the people. Because if you can't help the people, then who are you? What are you doing? You know. So, Alchemy Temple does have the option for you to enroll in classes to where you can actually get certified to teach and to work in the field of metaphysics, and having that paperwork if that's what you're looking for, but also having the training and the experience of being able to work in a professional setting with clients from all over the world, from all different backgrounds. Okay, so you definitely need hands-on. Hands-on is the key. Pricing is all on alchemytemple.org. Yes, classes also on alchemytemple.org. You're going to find the classes. You're going to find products. You're going to find, everything. When I say products, I hate to call them products. You're going to find esoteric tools, stuff you're not going to really find easily. Jezebel root. Okay, you're going to find the hard roots. All right, you're going to find the high John. All right, you're going to find the black mirrors and the scrying bowls. Okay, that's what you're going to find at alchemytemple.org. You want to go into classes. Also, I have a section there for practitioners, other practitioners, If you're a practitioner and you have your own craft and you would like to advertise on Alchemy Temple page, you can put your stuff there. If you are promoting a certain frequency, if you're promoting the same frequency that we're promoting, then we can work something out and you can advertise on that platform. Okay, because we really want to. This is where the synchronization comes into place. Peace, 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 leader in the building. You want to basically, synchronize all of those things. And as a matter of fact, this is the elder. This is the sister Lita, who has a very nice program, a womb wellness. Anybody in California, I would say that you want to check it out. All the ladies, a womb wellness, which is something that definitely is. She's on my ticket. I'm on her ticket. We will be doing work together. She's somebody that you definitely want to check out her page. Check out Lita Hadley, especially the sisters. You want to kind of make sure you know what's going on. She's also a seamstress, a designer of clothes, a nice clothing line of esoteric clothing. So anybody, what I would like to do, I want to extend the actual platform to anyone of you who is in this science and has a natural frequency that you're vibrating, and you just kind of need maybe somewhere to put yourself. You need a platform. Alchemy Temple is a place that you can possibly come to and use as a platform to help catapult your skills and kind of get the things out there like that. It's really easy to book. It's not as complicated as you think it would be. You can book by contacting booking at alchemytemple.org. Booking at alchemytemple.org, and for advertising, you can do media at alchemytemple.org. That's for the website, things like that. But if you want to book, it's media booking at alchemytemple.org. Okay, so I would definitely love to come to Detroit, Chicago area. That's been on the plate on the talk for a while. St. Louis, so you're in St. Louis, Kelly and Kelly. You need to get with me after this. I saw your comment. I just couldn't really respond at the time. Make sure you link up with me when this is done. Maybe, we should chop it up. I know St. Louis, that's another place that I have been before, and I will go back again. Okay, so, definitely, this is a cosmic shift, and it's going to take place whether you're in a synchronized personal space with other people or whether you are in a synchronized system that is separated from other people. So let me address this right quick. If you're in a situation you don't have the supplies. Sometimes you can't get to a supply store. You have no privacy. You have people who don't really listen to what you're doing, right? You don't have people who really want to hear what you're saying. They don't really want to see what's going on. They don't want to hear you. They think everything is evil, even though this is your ancestral knowledge, right? So if you're in a place like that, you have what's called astral mind. You have a etherical mind frame. Okay, you don't need a candle. Yeah, you can use candles. Candles are great. I love candles. I burn candles all the time. I'm always burning candles. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, candles, I love candles, but you know what? If I don't have a candle, I have a candle in my mind. Right? I have this internal fire. I can start a fire with my mind. I don't need a material good. Right? This is manifestation. If I have it, that's fine. Right? You want to have a physical thing for aid, for tools, whatever, but you don't need that. You can actually do what you have to do based on you mentally telling yourself what it is. So you don't need anything. You don't need anything. Only thing you need is mental focus. Now, if you have a problem, like if you're interested in knowing a psychic dream, you want to have a psychic dream, you need a message, you need something to come to you like that. Yeah, go ahead and call me, Rain. If you need mental clarity or things like that, then you know what you do. What you need to do is you need to take the herbs and the different sciences that are going to help you to have those dreams at nighttime. Bay leaves help you do that. Lovage root, which we sell the lovage root and the bay leaves on the website. The lovage root, actually, you can make a tea for that before you go to bed. That's going to guarantee give you that psychic dream. Okay, you have different herbs in rotation that you can use to kind of help you connect with yourself. Yes, body, mind, and spirit connection. Right now, they've made it a fact that they've separated not only you from me, but they separated me from my body, mind, and my spirit, right? So they've actually turned people into an energy, like money. Money is an energy that has no body, no mind, no spirit, right? The physical dollar, it has no body, no mind, no spirit, but yet it has so much force. It's a thought form entity in a physical form. This is what we're turning to. We're turning to thought form entities. When we're greater than thought form entities, we are the thinkers. We are the actual thinkers who create the thought form entities. Okay, but we're actually being turned to thought form entities ourselves based on that. Okay, so I am going to close the call down from here, right here. I definitely am willing to converse with anybody about doing anything live. It's not really difficult. I'm not the person. I can kind of answer your questions, Rand. You can hit me up or whatever. I have a department that deals with that. I don't deal with that personally, but you can definitely hit me up. We can chop it up over that. The herbs, oh, definitely. We have an extensive herb store, and there's more to come for the herbs, jujus, things like that at Alchemy Temple. Okay, so please come check out your herbs. You need hard to find herbs. You need tinctures. You need potions. You need any of that. And you want to be able to kind of collect the real, authentic stuff. We have these at the at your supply. Okay, so. Hope to see you guys in Durham, North Carolina. We will also be live streaming, okay? So if you don't have a ticket, if you don't have a way to get to North Carolina or anything like that, we will be live streaming, and you can just buy your ticket and still have a ticket right there, okay? We're going to be doing that, and we'll let you know. Also, there are vending tables available. Hurry up and get your vending before they close up. They're closing up pretty quickly. Okay, so peace and love, y'all. Hope everything is good. Thank y'all for your patience today as we kind of went through those technical difficulties. We will have a lineup for you this week. Wet Witch Wednesdays. We have another show coming on Thursday. One pretty much every day of the week. That's what we're looking at. So, peace and love, y'all. If there's no more questions, I don't want to just kill the connection. If there's no more questions or comments, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here and everything. So. If not, it's been real, and I'll catch y'all on the next Cypher.